Okay. And this is how I ended up finding out about the healthcare. And to some, this will be like, well, this is not a bad story. Bad is in you have to feel it, and if it's bad for you, it's bad for you. Don't judge what is torture to one person, because unless it's happening to you, you can't comprehend what the hell's going on. But when I was 3, my brother was born, and all of a sudden I started wetting the bed. You think that's just, oh, a minor problem. You know, and back in the day, like I'm 51 now, that was 58 is when I was born, so 1961, I mean, the doctors, the churches, your parents, all of them said, oh, they just are lazy. They just need discipline. And so every morning I would wake up to a beating. And to a religion, this is nothing. This is what our religions teach. So to be a Christian means that if your child is wetting the bed, that you need to beat the hell out of your child. And trust me, your version of beating is, like the religion say, well, we mean in reason. No. As long as you are touching me with anything, and I'm a child, you are teaching me violence. Fortunately for me, how I perceived this violence, I chose to say, why would you do that? And then when I seen, well, the churches are telling my parents to beat the hell out of me, and it's in a Bible, and it's like, okay, well, do my parents really know any better if these assholes are, telling my parents to do something that's that harmful? Because let me tell you, when you're 3 years old and you wake up to a beating every day for like, a year, it ain't a pleasant experience. And, they used wooden spoons. There was bruises. I had bruises all the time for over a year. So while you may tell a story of, oh, just discipline your child, how dare you even touch your child? Because, I don't know, for me, when I experience pain, and I have this advice to anybody else that's in pain, the only messages I heard through my experiences were, feel the pain, remember this pain. One day you're going to need to talk about it and relate about it to other people. And that's what you need to do, is remember the pain so that you can communicate effectively. Don't communicate with the pain, but use words that describe what that pain feels like, so that you can feel that if anybody else is going through that. It's a way of making you have empathy for other people, because when you start seeing the same behaviors in other people, and you start recognizing pain easily, and you know that people are in pain or having something bad done to them. Where do you think pain comes from? It's just, but, when you do that to the body, because we're human beings that react only on what we see, what we don't see is something we don't understand. And when we say, mentally ill or mental illness of any kind, well, it's not a friggin' illness, it's a fucking bruise on the brain. Metaphorically speaking, let's wake up here. If you're going to beat the crap out of any organ, is it going to work effectively? So anytime I see anybody that has any form of a mental illness, I know some bad shit has happened to them. And yeah, that might be theory, but no, there's medical proof. I didn't bring it with me, and I'm not going to read it on a 10-minute video. Read it for yourself. Anybody's interested, I'll give you the scientific proof. And this is evidence to work perfectly. But it's the hidden healthcare problem. And unfortunately, our world has been screwed up for a long, 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 long time. So even the guy, the medical guy that came up with the medical secret that wasn't taught in school, but he figured it out himself. Why? Because he studied more than one area of science. And that is like humanity. It's like you got the biggest gift. No, like God showed up and made this man, because when I read this shit, I got a headache right away. Because I knew that this man had to study what it takes you a lifetime to learn, like 10, 20 years experience in one field of science. This man did in like 10 different areas of science. And experience with it as well. So it's like, we don't get this too often, where there's a human brain that can study that many ranges of sciences, enough to be able to comprehend so many different tunnel vision areas of our lives and know it inside and out. Like, blows me away. Like, humanity got the biggest gift, you just don't know it, because we're in a fucked up world, and there's lies within lies. And this guy, this doctor, this brilliant man, still has another shot. He doesn't see the other lie. But at the end, we're lying to ourselves, and if you hang on to the conversation, you'll see why. But, he's human, and he doesn't know any better, so that's why you haven't heard of him. Because he would have been like me and figured it out as to, just like him, people need to know this shit. I mean, he's a doctor and he's a scientist. Naturally, he wants people to know. He's got courses, he's got books, It's his marketing problem. I mean, if he was best friends with Deepak Chopra, and Deepak Chopra was like rooting for this guy, we would have known so much more than 20 years ago. But, he didn't know marketing, didn't know the greed. That's his problem. Most people will judge this guy to be a greedy guy because he has a course. Yeah, he has a course, but he sucks at marketing. And he is dealing with a few challenges of his own, but like the rest of us, we don't know our own challenges. It's like you can't see your own reflection. You can't see you are the problem. Every problem you have, you are the source of that problem, while you think it's out there. And let's bring that insanity together here, that I'm saying doctors and religions influenced my parents to beat the crap out of me, and I am telling you that I'll bring scientific proof that me as a child was asking for it. And that's the biggest pill you gotta swallow. And if you can't wrap your brain around that one, you won't get the big picture. But you are so freaking powerful, because it's like, why do you want to do that? Why do you want to attract bad experiences for yourself? And I know you all want to know the secret of, okay, how do I get everything I want? You are getting everything you want. And it's like, be at one with, okay, if you don't like what you want, that's the time you gotta stop and say, okay, what is it I'm doing that's creating all of this? Instead of looking out there, if you turn back around and saying, okay, what is it I'm doing that's creating this whole global experience. And I know if you're really, really angry and you just had your first shot, this is just, yeah, I will seem a little crazy to you. But remember, it's a lie, so it's not going to feel comfortable for you to hear something completely different. But if you have enough challenges as I have over all of these years, and you've sort of been centered with, kind of knowing what's right and wrong, and seeing other people use bullshit reasons to continue bad behavior, and you're trying to find answers. How and why are you people doing this, and how can I maneuver my way through it? So you read everybody's self-help books, and they're all bullshit. And churches, every church, every answer out there. Believe me, if you put challenges on somebody and they want to solve problems, they will find the answer because they're motivated to find the answer. This would be one person that's always been motivated to find the solution to everything. And that's what this scientist claims he's got, is the answer to every problem known to the human experience. And he's basically perfectly correct. The only problem is, the shocker to him is the unknown problem. What good is using a tool that can solve every problem known to the human experience if you can't tell you got a problem? And that's really easy. As soon as you recognize yourself complaining or making an excuse, let's face it, if you have a problem, what's the first thing you do? You make a complaint about it or you make an excuse about it. So, and then it's like you got all the excuses for external reasons why you can't do something. Because everything's bigger than you or faster than you or challenging than you will compare yourself to the external world, making excuses of why you can't do something, or you'll complain about something. There's something out there preventing you from doing something. So it's your perception of your world that makes you come up with these rules that say this is impossible. So if you twist that round to saying just the opposite, of all of the universe is there to support me, in how many ways? Nobody really does that. Nobody really believes and trusts in the universe because you don't think you're worthy of it, because the universe is telling you you're not worthy of it. Really cool shit. I'll continue again on another tape.